Okay, so something told me to go back and check the live, only to find out that 14 minutes of my channeled message did not come through. I don't know what's happening, YouTube, but you know what? I'm going to try this again because the message that came through that I was sharing for everyone is so important that it needs to be shared. So I was talking about what it means to give and receive in balance and working with plant teachers and running your business. You know, I gave the metaphor if you're an artist and you create a lot of art for free and you're not being properly compensated, whether it's certain aspects of your life being taken care of, or you're being given like unlimited art supplies or something, some sort of compensation for your investment. Eventually you lose energy, you lose inspiration, and this is what we call burnout. This is why when I was teaching in kindergarten, I got burnt out because I was putting in a lot more and way more than I was receiving. And so when you're a teacher, you have to in the educational system, you really, really, really have to love what you're doing to keep going long term, even though inevitably most of us get burnt out. And for me, my fuse burnt out very quickly. And I knew that I was a teacher, but I knew that my teaching was in a different area and not just with the little kids, especially once I realized that everyone is basically just a grown up kid or a child in an adult body. So, okay, so let me see if I can recap the best way I know how. So, we talked about prosperity and abundance. So, if I talk about how your abundance is when your cup is overflowing, okay? Where our gift to the world is when we share our abundance. We give and share only where we are abundant. This will ensure that you never run out because you're abundant. Now, your prosperity, on the other hand, you have to earn your feathers or you have to grow your feathers. The universe gives you feathers to fly, and these feathers to fly give you wings. And so you can't really give your feathers away. And I liken this to our prosperity. So our prosperity are our feathers. That's what allows us to keep going. That's what feeds us. That's what invigorates us. That's what electrifies us. And it's what allows us to fly. Our abundance is where we give. And so they work together. So if you're not feeling abundant and where you're receiving, it's time to give a little bit. It's time to step back and evaluate, okay, where am I out of balance? Am I giving too much? Have I received a lot? Have I received a lot and things are not moving? Have I given a lot and I'm not receiving? So sometimes if you have received a lot, then do some community service, do some work, offer a free service, something that it won't cost you a lot, but it means the world to someone. Okay, be giving of yourself. If you have um, given too much, then oftentimes your cup starts to get depleted. Your cup gets lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. And this is where it's important to have boundaries, okay? Because if your cup gets empty, your value goes down. And people will keep going until there's nothing left in your cup because they don't care or they just don't know. A lot of times they just don't know. They're not aware. And so to create that awareness, you have to speak up and say something. You have to say, like, hey guys, I'm not in a space to give right now. I need to receive, whether it's to myself through the form of self care, or I need a little more help. I need my community to help me out. And so by you speaking up, you're creating this awareness. And then this opens the door and allows others to um, to help you, to support you, to love on you, because a lot of people are very loving and they want to help, they want to support, but they just don't know how because we oftentimes don't open up the doors. And so, creating the boundaries, opening the doors, opening the conversations so that people can understand. So, when you work for yourself, you have to have these conversations, you have to have these rules to maintain your value, because even when you say no to something that you don't want to do and it's uncomfortable, you're teaching that person, you're teaching them A, to respect you, B, to respect themselves because they may find themselves in a similar position in the future or remember a time in the past. And they're just like, oh, you know what? That's really cool. This person showed me how to protect myself by saying no. No is a complete sentence. And so, knowing when to step back, knowing when to recharge, knowing when to ask for help, knowing how to protect your value, and knowing how to state the rules and saying, this is what I need to live and operate and to thrive and survive in this world is how we all will flow as a community. And so now, if people want to interact with you, there has to be some sort of investment. Now, the investment is where you create the value. Okay. The investment is like the glue between the two particles that hold each other together. This investment can be physical, this investment can be emotional, this investment can be financial, this investment can be spiritual. But oftentimes, these investments are all the same or interrelated, and they overlap with each other. And so, if the investment isn't strong, if the investment isn't good, it doesn't hold both parties accountable. So, this is something to consider whether someone's paying for your service or someone is bartering with you for services. The investment, the value has to be there that holds both sides accountable. And that is what creates your value, your inherent value. And people were like, yeah, I want that. Instead of saying, I just want a part of that, but I don't want to do the work. If we do enough work to get something that's valuable, we appreciate more. This goes without saying each and every time. If it doesn't take any work to get something and we get it, we don't appreciate it as much. We really don't, folks. And so, as an entrepreneur, it's actually a dance. As an energy healing, it's a dance, especially in the world of spirituality, that you maintain this dance. And yes, we're doing healing work. And yes, we're giving of our heart. It's a heart centered business. But at the same time, the same rules of physics still apply. And if you go against these rules of physics, you're not going to thrive. You're not going to survive. It's going to blow up in your face. These are one of the first teachings that I teach you about in my energy healing certification program, my mentorship program, is about how to maintain and create value around what you're giving, no matter what or where you are. Um, and so you maintain that value through your sacred reciprocity. Um, a lot of times, I want to share another story with you before I jump off of here. Um, if someone asks me to do a meditation, right? And you normally charge, I'm just going to throw a figure out there. If someone asks you to do a meditation and you normally charge $500 to do this meditation for up to 6 or 7 people, and then someone turns around and says, well, I only have a budget of $75. Let's say you're in a position where you really need money or you really need the exposure, you really need this opportunity. Where's the value in that? Um, that person needs to find someone that's offering something of a value of $75, point blank, period. And if you are a value of 500, you're not that person. And if you go against that, you lower your own value. You lower your own energetic vibration. And do you know what happens sometimes? You can get sick, you can get a headache, you can lose energy, and you can feel like crap because you're disrespecting yourself. You are being disrespected and you are disrespecting yourself. It may not be deliberate disrespect because their lack of awareness, because people can only value you through the lens of how they value themselves. So if they don't have a good self value, then there's no way they can value someone else until we educate them. So it's also our job to educate them on what it is we need and what we value. Um, let's see. Okay, so, but if you speak up and say, hey, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that, and protect yourself with your boundaries, then you won't get sick. A lot of times, the universe will send us these little tests to see how desperate are we? How discerning are we? How smart are we? Are we going to learn from this situation or are we going to learn a tough lesson? And so, if you decide to go through with doing something that is against your value and you're not gaining something else from it, then you're going to pay. Energetically, you will pay. And energetically, if you don't pay now, you'll pay later. The pay later is the burnout. So ask yourself, is this value balanced? Am I getting and receiving what I need for this to happen? Because you also have to keep in mind, um, there'll be times in the future when you'll want to give to others freely because you are abundant and you can't because you're burnt. So just a little food for thought. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Um, so remember, like I said, we only give from our abundance. When we're not feeling abundant, that's time to recharge. It's a recharging time. Your prosperity are your feathers that you use to fly. Your prosperity are your wings. Those what give you your wings, and you need your wings to fly. So don't hand out your prosperity. Share your abundance. Your prosperity is your movement, it's your electricity. How do you get your prosperity flowing? By maintaining the balance of giving and receiving. It's your sacred reciprocity. Because if you are giving and receiving too much, the universe is going to indiscriminately rebalance out the energy. So it's best that we maintain the balance ourselves. Okay. And that's all I have for you now. I hope you really love this live. I hope you share it out. And if there's another topic you would like for me to share on in the future, let me know. This is a series that I've created so that you could see some real talk, real life things that people go through, real tests, real trials, because it's not always sunshine and rainbows. I have people say to me all the time, oh, I wish I could be like you out in Mexico living the life. And I'm just like, honey, do you know what goes on behind the scenes? Do you know the sacrifices that it took to get to where I am and will take to continue where I'm going? I mean, all I can say is it requires you to be courageous, have a lot of faith, have a lot of trust, and to follow the voice of your heart, follow your intuition, and trust in the universe, trust in the flow. And then that's when the magic unfolds. So I'll see you soon, and I'll be going live again soon to celebrate my 7,000 followers on YouTube. I'll be offering free readings, so stay tuned. I'll see you soon. Ciao.